Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my weekly wrap-up. I don't know why I stopped there. My weekly wrap-up, number 25. The year is almost over. I read 2 books last week. I said I only read 1, but I actually read 2 because the other one was an audiobook that I forgot I had finished. Exciting times. It just started raining, so excuse me for that. I can't close my window though because it's deathly hot. So it's like a humid, muggy rain. It is starting to thunder. You guys don't understand how much I love lightning and thunder. Okay, so let's start with the physical book, and that is Bone Gap by Laura Ruby. This is considered a magical realism contemporary on Goodreads. I would consider it to be a supernatural mystery. I think that sounds better. There are 3 main characters in this book. 2 brothers, Finn and Sean. Sean is 6 years older than Finn is. And then there's a girl, Rosa, that comes into the mix about 2 chapters into the book. So let's start with the brothers. There is Finn and Sean. Sean is 6 years older than Finn. They have been living in Bone Gap, Illinois their entire lives. And their father has passed away a few years ago. The mom decided that in order to be happy, she wanted to pursue a new life, and so she married like an orthodontist, I believe, and moved away and just left the boys with the house, hoping for the best. And I mean, she calls them every once in a while, but she really doesn't check in. I mean, she considers them both grown. When we start this book, Finn is 16, I think, and so 16, you could technically live on your own, but it's hard. And so Sean is very resentful and bitter because he has to take care of his brother. Sean was going to go to medical school, and he was already an EMT, and he was already planning on having this great life, and now he's stuck having to watch his brother. The entire town, because it's a small one, believes that Finn is, there's something wrong with him. Like the whole book I thought he might be autistic because they keep saying how he lives in his own world and he's very like moony, or they call him moon face or spaceman, like he's just always like daydreaming. And so, but you find out later that he actually has face blindness, which I watched a movie, and I'll leave the link down below if I can find it, on face blindness, and it starred my favorite actress of all time, Mia Jovovich. I just love her, and so yeah, I'll leave the link below. It was a great movie. It was really freaky. It's like a not supernatural, it's a suspense thriller kind of book. And then there is another character in here. Well, did I finish the boys? Those are the 2 boys. Rosa, I'll just continue with Rosa. I'm all over the place, I apologize. So Rosa's from Poland. She came to Chicago to go to school because her grandma insisted she needed to leave Poland and her little farm town and have an adventure. When Rosa gets here to the United States, the people there at the college just try to take advantage of her. The girls are really jealous because she's beautiful, and they think that she's stuck up because she is like better than them for some reason. And then all the boys just want to have sex with her. And that's sad because she's just like, I don't want to be pretty. And you have that whole like saying you don't want what you have, or you want what you don't have. And people would say, well, she's just being, she just wants people to feel sorry for her. And beautiful people always say that. Well, I hate being pretty, but you know, lots of things are given to you if you're beautiful. So Rose is sick of it. She just wants to be left alone, and all the boys call her bad names because she doesn't want to do the nasty with them, and they again call her stuck up and all that other stuff when she doesn't want to be an object, which is great because girls don't want to be objects. And so I liked that they had that aspect in the book. And then lastly, there is another girl in here. What's her name? I forgot. What's her name? I can't. Anyways, the girl that Finn is in love with, I can't think of her name at the moment. I don't know why. But people call her Bee Girl because her family owns a bee farm. But she also has very a unique face, and so she's always considered herself ugly, and people in town, you know, gossip about her, about how she's ugly and all this other thing. But I think what she might have is Waardenburg syndrome, and I just learned about this on YouTube like 2 weeks ago before I read this book. So I was like, oh my gosh, the guy who talks about it, I'm not like a subscriber to his channel, I just kind of watched that episode. I will leave his channel down below. It's raining. I will leave it all down below, that way you know what Waardenburg syndrome is. But basically, the face is more rounder, and it's hereditary, so like they won't have the bridge of the nose, and their eyes are more wide apart. They don't have a cupid's bow, and most of the time they might be deaf in one ear or both ears, and the pigmentation in their eyes are usually really, really light, or they'll have like a white strip in their hair where the pigment is just completely absent in the front. And so the girl just had all these things that reminded me of Waardenburg syndrome, and so I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, so there's all these issues in here that are very realistic, and I've never read a book like this before, so I was just intrigued by the characters for the most part. Like, I just loved the fleshed out characters. They all have meat to them. They all have, you know, they're real. You know why they're upset or what they want and everything else. And then comes the supernatural part, which I won't talk about because that would be like a spoiler of the story. I love it. More. Thank you. Okay, so the supernatural part is what makes the twist of the book, which is really freaky, and that was just like amazing as well. I just loved the book. It's character driven, and it's all about this small town and their gossipiness, and these two brothers and how they deal with everybody and the flaws of the human body or people's opinions. And I don't know. I loved it. Hopefully I gave it a good review. I will leave the link to my Goodreads review. I always do a better review written than talking about it. But if you haven't read Bone Gap, pick it up. 5 stars. It was awesome. All right. And the second book that I read last week was Fractured by Sarah Fine. So that is the sequel to Sanctum. And it's about a girl named Leela, and she is a captain of an army in this installment. She's a captain of an army, and they have to take down the demons. And it's a great paranormal urban fantasy, and I absolutely loved it. Her and what's the boy's name? Her and Malachi, that's the name. Her and Malachi are cute together, and the book was kind of slow at the beginning. Like, I hated the new characters that came into play in the second book. Jim especially was just got on my nerves. He was super, like, just full of himself, and I hated that. But then at the end he redeemed himself, and then I was like, no, Jim. And but yeah, the book got super intense towards the end, which makes me really, really want to read Chaos now. But Leela was really whiny this book. I hate when a very strong female character falls in love with a boy, and then the boy says, you know, we need to have some space, or this isn't working out right now, maybe we can try again later. And then they have like a crying fit, and then they are just, you know, stupid the rest of the book, and they're whiny, and I hate crybabies. It's like, you're powerful by yourself. You don't need that person. The only reason why you have a man in your life is companionship. You know what I mean? You get like a best friend that's a boy that you get to do other things with. That's great, but you don't need him. It's a part of you. You know what I mean? Like not an accessory, because that would be wrong to say, but you know, a team. You have a person in your life to make a team, or whatever. You don't need a significant other in your life to make yourself happy. And that's what she's driving me crazy with. I couldn't stand it. But I I do this all day long. Like if it's raining like this, I will just sit at the window like a little kid or a dog and just like at the window. More. Is there lightning? I want to see it. More rain, more rain. I'm crazy and it's very hot. And yeah, so that was my weekly wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed. I apologize if it's just rambling and didn't make any sense. I was too distracted with the rain, and then the heat is driving me crazy. Yeah. What did you guys read last week? Are you guys participating in the Read-O-Rama this week? Because I am, and let me tell you, I'm currently reading Red Spikes by Margot Lanigan, and the short stories that I've read so far, I've read 5. There's 10 in all, and they're pretty good. I'm actually really excited to read more of this author. She does an amazing job. Some were a little boring, but they were all interesting. Even though they were boring, they were interesting. So, yes, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later.